so much. I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so much.
Hello, all you positive heads out there. Thanks for tuning your beautiful brainwaves into another episode of the Positive Head Podcast, where we are firmly convinced that creating success and happiness is rooted in understanding the ultimate nature of reality and the fact that as human beings, we are all immensely powerful fractals of the one and only source consciousness, which creates and animates all things. Now, of course, understanding this powerful truth is one thing. Applying this incredibly empowering wisdom to everyday life? Well, that's another, which is exactly why we provide you with a fresh serving of soul food for thought 5 days a week to help constantly remind you of what matters most. You are it. And I'm your host, Brandon Beecham. I'm the reflection and extension of you who will be here each Wednesday interviewing a different consciousness changemaker. And on the other 4 weekdays, leading the way to ensure that your perspective is consistently expanded, your vibration is constantly elevated, and your heart is overflowing and full. Also, this episode of the Positive Head Podcast is being brought to you thanks to the support of Gaia. If you're not familiar, Gaia is the go-to source for streaming consciousness content online, and you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. Check it out. All right, all you positive heads, welcome, welcome. It is another day in paradise. It's a terrific Tuesday here in the studio as I record. So happy to be here with you guys, as always, and always to do this thing again. Super exciting. I'm going to read a chapter from Oneness today. Try not to cry this time, but no promises. If you guys, last week was definitely an intense one, if you listen back to chapter 28. But anyway, let's see. Before I dive into chapter 34, I would like to read a review on iTunes. You guys know I love getting reviews from you guys. Some of you, by the way, have been now reviewing on Castbox as well. I at least once an episode. I mean, I don't want to disappoint you guys. You'll be very disappointed if I always just speak right in corrects every time I talks. And so I got it out of the way early today, you know? What can I say? I'm feeling good. Let's see. This review came in by Abby Elise Tracy on iTunes. Oh, and what I was saying is Castbox is another place that you can actually review, an awesome app who's actually doing some really cool things for podcasters to help promote this show and others. And so highly recommend downloading that app it says actually helping podcasts. So that's a first. And certainly I'm excited about it. But if you have reviewed on iTunes, maybe go review over there. That'd be great. I'd love to hear from you again, and certainly follow the show over there. But anywhere you can review, you can send me a smoke signal. You can review telepathically, and I will do my best to receive it. But for now, iTunes is still the holy grail of all things podcasting. So I definitely appreciate getting reviews there as well. This one came in, like I said, by Abby Elise Tracy. It says, the title is Life Changing. I found this podcast about a year ago and felt that it helped me immensely with maintaining a positive outlook. I started on my spiritual path about 3.5 years ago and was really struggling with just reminding myself every day of what the big picture is all about. Okay, synchronicity alert. Real quick, I'm going to just interrupt. The song that I chose for today is called A Reminder. So I like that she instantly is talking about reminding herself every day. And the chapter 34, Sourcing Inner Guidance, is also one of the titles, and it talks about my love is just a reminder, find your center is one of the lyrics in the song that I'm going to play at the end. So it's all coming together. I knew there's a reason I chose it. It always does. It's so cool. Anyway, okay, continuing. I stopped listening a few months ago when I found out I'm pregnant because I fell into so much anxiety and pressure of needing to get it all together before the baby comes. I'd always pictured myself being a more calm person by the time I became a mom because I didn't want him to learn negative patterns from me as I did from my parents. A few weeks ago, I was reminded of how much positivity this podcast brought into my life when I was listening to it daily. And sure enough, after listening to it these past few weeks, I'm feeling so much love and acceptance for myself and everything around me. This podcast is such a blessing. It has really helped me manifest excitement to learn and grow with my child instead of feeling like I need to be perfect by the time he arrives. I'm so grateful for the positivity this podcast instills in me and for helping me break out of those negative thought patterns and accept that I am exactly where I'm meant to be. Thank you. Aw, thank you for taking the time to complete this circle of love I'm putting out into the world, Abby Elise Tracy, and congrats on bringing a new soul into 3D incarnation. What an exciting thing. What a beautiful thing. And just doing that alone, I mean, what a gift to the world. I mean, what more, anything pales in comparison to that. Just doing that, being brave enough to do that. And so you are indeed perfect timing, and you are perfectly imperfect as we all are, and just loving yourself exactly where you're at is the key, is the goal. And if you can, the journey is the goal as you continue to expand and grow and become the next greatest and grandest version of yourself. And if you can just teach that to your child, talk about being empowered. Wow. So yeah, you're doing it, and we're all doing it, and I'm going to continue this process of getting it right as we explore, how do we become the next greatest and grandest versions of ourselves? Chapter 34 is going to talk about, speaking of that, before I get into it, I want to give a big shout out of congratulations to Ian on, and by the way, the Positive Heads with an S Facebook group is a private group where you can connect with other listeners, share stories, support one another, ask private questions that you don't want the rest of Facebook to be privy to. Wonderful space on the interwebs. And Ian, who's a part of the group, actually just went through this 10-day transformational cleanse, metabolic reset with 60 plus of us. I mean, it's a 40-day plan, but 10 of the days are really the most intense. And we just went through the 10, completed those a few days ago. And so far, we started on June 1st. As I record right now, it's June 26th. And Ian has lost 26 pounds as of yesterday. And that was a big part of his goal. For me, it was really about reestablishing my connection with food, learning, breaking those habitual patterns, and also just having superfoods that I have every single day as a foundation for my day. And Ian really approached it as wanting to lose weight, having a lot of extra weight. And wow, he's doing it. What an amazing success story. So I was so excited to see that feedback on the Facebook group this morning when I woke up. And I just want to give a big shout out to Ian and any of you other guys or gals or folks or aliens that have stories of your journey so far, the 60 plus of you. I'd love to hear them. Please post them in the group or write me. Let me know. Brandon@positivehead.com. For any of you who are interested in doing the transformation cleanse yourself, you can learn all about it. Hear my interview with the co-founder of Purium, is the company that provides the products and so forth. And if you go to positivehead.com/transformation. Highly recommend it. It's been an amazing experience for me so far, and I'm just so grateful for the work that David Sandoval and the team over there has done to make it really easy to get high vibe organic, nutrients, superfoods into our system every day as a baseline, and sort of a lot of people redirecting, money that they're spending on other types of food into this as a baseline. And I think it's a brilliant way to do it. And that's why I decided to go down this path with them. And so check that out if you haven't done so already. There's a webinar on there too, where we go into deep dive detail. So there's a lot of information at positivehead.com/transformation for any of you guys who are interested in looking into it. Okay, let's dive into today's chapter. And by the way, this is from the book Oneness, chapter 34. Oneness is a book that was received and transcribed by Russia. And I've been reading books, or chapters rather, sporadically over the last year, really. Just choosing a chapter here and there because you don't really need to read it in order. I mean, you could, but it's just such a great book. I view it as the guidebook for ascension, what you can expect as you increase your awareness, expand your awareness, allow more of your expanded or higher self through your physical form. There's sort of an ascension process, some refer to, that's happening, an enlightening. You're lightening up. More light is being triggered in your DNA, more higher vibration, higher frequency. With that comes certain symptoms and things that you can expect to encounter on your unique journey that you're having. There's some things that are sort of like, I may drive to from California to Texas, and on that drive, there's certain things that I'm definitely going to kind of experience, even though I have some other things that are unique to me, right? So, that's the way I look at it. We're all on a similar journey. There's certain outposts, certain things. We're going to hit the state line kind of thing. But there's also unique elements as well. So this book really helps to give an idea of some of the guideposts and things you can expect to see on your journey back to oneness. So chapter 34. These are the headers. Sourcing inner guidance is the first one. The crossroads as a gateway to the path within is the second one. And declining the invitation of psychic dependency. Wisdom is the elusive essence that has been sought by humankind since the very inception of the idea of your emergence into form. Wisdom is a single element that distinguishes what you have always been from what you have chosen to become. For the agreements that govern a choice to emerge as form with identity requires that your knowledge of the nature of your own divine essence be relinquished. What remained was the indefinable sense deep within you that there was a profound purpose underlying all that now surrounded you, a wisdom that was sensed but could not be grasped. It was sensed, in part, because once there was full conscious awareness of that wisdom, and in part, because that wisdom, that knowingness, has never left you. That wisdom is a part of your very essence. You simply have denied yourself access to it in order that you would have the opportunity to attain that wisdom of your own volition against all odds. Now that you have begun to unravel the threads of the mystery you have created, hints of that wisdom surface in your conscious awareness now and then. You leave traces of illumination right there at your very own feet, so that this time you can't possibly miss the clues you may have avoided stumbling over before. Very carefully, you are being guided out of the wilderness in which you presumed yourself to have been abandoned, and you are being nudged and prodded to defy the logic of your mind and make choices that somehow just feel right. Many refer to these flashes of illumination as intuition. And as you wean yourself off your addiction to the illusion of the limitations of linear reality, these flashes become more frequent and more consistent. After some practice in recognizing and responding to these prompts, your own experience shows you that these glimpses into the true nature of what is can be trusted, for the results in doing so speak for themselves. One learns to follow one's own inner guidance in preference to that being offered, in the guise of wisdom, by many who have tapped into other sources of information. For the very sense of separation you seek to transcend is reinforced when you offer your powers to another being who claims to have psychic powers. The information that may be provided for you from such sources can only be validated by your own inner knowingness. And the opportunity for you is to recognize that you have within you a remarkable, accurate barometer of what is and is not valid guidance and information. The information provided by one who purports to be able to see what you believe that you cannot is only as clear and as accurate as a filter of that being's own consciousness. Some are able to peek through the veils of the illusion with varying degrees of accuracy and to report to you what is seen or sensed or heard. But it is rare that any of this otherworldly visioning is truly wisdom. For what is cannot be tainted by the vantage point of another, and is available only to the rare physical being amongst you who have totally transcended in their own personal journeys the veils of the illusion. The visions that may be offered to you by others who, at various stages of perceiving those veils within their own process, are, in large part, isolated glimpses into the infinite field of possibility. What has been read and reported is, in all likelihood, one of any number of possible outcomes to a given situation. The choices you make of your own free will would, by definition, alter any such prophecy and render it invalid. To act upon the guidance offered by another being, regardless of how gifted they may claim to be, is to make a statement, vibrationally, that valid information is unavailable to you directly, and therefore so it is. You have not come to this experience you call your life in order to have another being, with a questionable degree of visionary skill, make your key choices for you. Ultimately, the choices you put into action must be your own choices if they are to yield the level of results you would wish them to. In these times, it has become popular to invoke the help of otherworldly sources of guidance and information. These forms of consciousness offer any number of levels of perspective, and you would wish to regard any advice offered with a degree of objectivity. It is no great feat to be able to make contact with beings who once were and are no longer in physical form. These beings abound in the transformational conditions of your physical reality, and most are all too willing to meddle in your life. If you choose to give your power to them, know that even though these beings may mean well, their advice is colored by their own perspective and their own issues, which have not vanished simply because they are not present in physical form. Chances are they are simply between chapters in their own saga, and in attempting to influence you, they are reinforcing vibrationally the ties and attachments that may once have been there between you. In this respect, nothing would have changed. The essence of the manipulation and your openness to its influence would have survived. In seeking the help of these so-called angels, know that they are oftentimes no further along in their spiritual unfoldment than they were at the time they departed the physical world. They are not necessarily all-knowing or all-wise merely by virtue of the fact that they are presently in a non-physical state of being. You would wish to afford the same degree of deference to their views and opinions as you would be inclined to were they still here with you in physical form, and make your own choices accordingly. You may have had occasion to make contact with other levels of consciousness, either through the vehicle of another being or within your own awareness, and you would wish to be aware of the nature of the agreements of those beings who have chosen to serve as your so-called guides and guardians from beyond the realm of your reality. These beloved beings are ones who have volunteered to assist you in your focus upon your life's purpose. They are surely not here to make choices for you, and they would be in violation of their own agreements were they to do so. No one is in position to live your life for you, regardless of how spiritually elevated they may be. To do so would violate your very purpose in being here. It is unrealistic to expect that your guides will swoop in and rescue you as you peer over some precipice on your journey, symbolic or otherwise. That is not the purpose of their presence. Vibrationally, they are able, however, to nudge you into finding within your very own depths and knowingness that leads you in the direction of the highest choice. It is in these moments that posts the crucial crossroads of this lifetime that the silence of stepping back from the circumstances at hand best serve you. It is in the clarity of that silent openness on your part that true guidance may be sourced from beyond the recesses of your mind. This guidance does not come in words, but transcends all limitation and is simply there for you as knowingness. A so-called moment of truth is precisely that. It is a moment where, faced with the inevitability of taking action, you are able to find that truth within yourself. It is not your cue to send out an SOS and expect magically to be rescued, for that would have defeated the entire purpose of the episode you went to great lengths to arrange for yourself to experience. Your guides are surely there for you in the ways that really matter, but they will not give you the answers. There are other categories of discarnate beings amongst you with their own agendas and motivations for attempting to meddle in your life. It is an expression of wisdom on your part to be aware and to consider carefully before acting upon any guidance, whether solicited or unsolicited, from discarnate sources. The levels of awareness which you will begin to experience sequentially as part of your ascension process will begin to rule out any inclination you may have had to defer to the influence of others in making key life choices. You will discover, as you begin to explore the new depths of insight now available to you, that the wisdom you may have been inclined to seek is already there. You become aware that the answers are before you, almost before the question is fully formulated. There's simply no need to ask for illumination, for the direction of highest choice is obvious to you. When you find yourself standing at a crossroads, allow yourself the grace of the unfoldment of the possibilities that will lead you in the direction of the highest choice. Resist the inclination in these moments of uncertainty to force a decision prematurely. For it is entirely possible that the way is unclear because all the information has not yet been presented. You have entered a period within your transformational journey where radical changes in your life direction are likely. The purpose of placing yourself in such a maze of circumstances is to develop a reliance on your own ability to source the answers. And by this time, you would have discovered that deference to the guidance of others often leads you deeper and deeper into a state of confusion. The clarity you seek when presented with a complex series of variables is best attained in the realms that transcend mind. Here, one does not feel compelled to take any action one way or the other. When there is a sense of urgency and a compulsion to choose from a given set of options, recognize those conditions as your cue to retreat into the stillness within and do nothing. For the sense of urgency is rooted in fear of choosing incorrectly. And those are not conditions in which you would wish to make choices of any kind. The answers you seek do not come from your logical mind. They are sourced when you recognize the wisdom in defying logic. They are realized when you understand that there is no need to reach out for guidance from others. They are made manifest when you risk trusting that you hold the answers, all of them. To break the patterns of dependency upon the influence of others, it is necessary to understand that the answers themselves do not matter at all. The act of seeking those answers is merely an exercise you have devised in order to guide yourself to the path that leads within. Ultimately, the life-altering choices you have created to confound yourself fade into obscurity, along with the very crossroads that prompted them, and you emerge in a place of knowingness that the questions and the answers are unimportant. They are simply vehicles that deliver you to a place of unconditional trust in your own ability to derive a sense of inner directedness in any circumstances. The dilemma that may be at hand merely illustrates the point. Ultimately, you come to realize that there are no incorrect answers. Choices you have made, which have produced disappointing results, are your opportunity to recognize the conditions in which those choices were made. Choices made under conditions of uncertainty or fear of choosing wrongly set up the parameters for the thwarting of one's effort and the undermining of the result that has been hoped for. Choices which represent the guidance of angels or psychics or any of the limitless number of possible external perspectives that are available to you merely foster dependency and undermine the entire point of the exercise. For the answer is not the answer. It is the source of that answer that is being sought. It is irrelevant to your purpose in coming into form what friends or seers or departed loved ones may think you should do in a given circumstance. What you hope to find was the sense of presence where the source of all answers was unquestionable, and to know it is within you. There will be moments of sublime connectedness in the higher stages of the process of your unfoldment, where that knowingness is at hand. You will no longer be the seeker in those moments, for there's nothing to be sought. And the feeling of awareness that holds the answers to all possible questions will permeate your being. The fullness of that state, which is experienced in increments, will be realized by many of you. For the process of that awakening, which might have taken untold lifetimes to complete, has been accelerated under the transformational conditions of these times. The opportunity posed by the profound dilemmas that present themselves is to begin to recognize the symbolic significance of those circumstances. And at the same time, it is the opportunity to source within your own being the experiential evidence that will help you transcend those illusions. You'll be tested again and again as part of the process of liberating yourself from the self-imposed prison of separation. For the key to that elusive freedom lies not in the hands of others who may or may not know the way, but rather upon the cliffs of your own uncertainty. You have led yourself out to the edge of the precipice on purpose. From there, the only step forward is to jump. And that is the end of chapter 34 of Oneness. Love it. It is indeed perfectly aligned. The song that I'm about to play for you guys. Any love that comes from the other side, guides, angels, whatever it may be, a psychic friend, an intuitive, whatever it is, their love is a reminder of what you have within you. You know, find your center. It is within you. All the answers are within you. You're not disempowered in any way, shape, or form externally by some external anything. Something external may serve you, but always check in with yourself. Always come back to your center. Always, the more you trust your own innate knowing and intuitive knowing, the stronger it becomes, right? Abracadabra. As you believe, you create. As you speak, you create. And this is so important because I think a lot of people, I know a lot of people have gone down this path of disempowering themselves by putting, choices outside of themselves, not just with people intuitively speaking in general. You have the answers within you. It's been in you all along. They're just waiting for you to trust and say, oh, I have the answers within me. Now let me act on that belief and start following. You can never make a wrong choice. It's always going to teach you something. So when you trust that piece of it, when you say, well, yeah, but what if I get it wrong in the early stages? Why I am figuring all this out, right? My intuition isn't that, the psychic muscle isn't that strong yet or whatever. And I get it wrong. Guess what? That's an incorrect thought in itself because you can't get anything wrong. It's always going to lead you to a deeper understanding and stronger awareness of who and what you are and how to behave next. And there's no shortage of opportunities that can be delivered to you either. So you can't really screw it up. You have unlimited shots at this. And anything that you do that may be perceived as wrong from some particular perspective, which of course is always just relative, from the ultimate perspective, it is perfect and by design and teaching you what you needed to learn. So relax about these choices, everyone. Relax into them. One of the only choice that you can make that really can kind of trip you up, I think, is not making a choice at all out of fear. And I love how this chapter also stresses if you are in a state of fear, that's not the time to make a choice. Find your center, go back to love, go meditate, give it some time. Maybe all the information isn't presented yet. And you'll learn to know when you're in the right vibrational state to make the choice. And I feel confident in confidence that this is the right choice. Bam, now make it, right? I feel confident all the way around. This is the right choice. Bam, make it. I feel a lot of fear and I'm unsure. Wait, find your center. Then make it. Yeah, that's a formula. Yeah, you got that. We got that. I have a song here. This is a reminder by Trevor Hall. Hope you've enjoyed this reminder. Till next time, journey well. Love you all so much. Also, if you're craving more consciousness elevating content, be sure to check out Gaia, which is my personal go-to source for streaming consciousness content on the web, where you can stream an incredible 7,000 plus exclusive videos covering 5,000 years of wisdom. As you all hear me constantly say, it's a daily conscious effort to maintain an elevated vibration. And if you're looking to journey deep down the rabbit hole to do so, then Gaia is the best place I know of to do it, period. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. Check it out.
And do you remember when you looked in the water and saw your reflection, the embers? They drew out a map and they showed you direction. Your sender is far in the east, where your heart is at peace when you enter. My love is just a reminder, find your center. My love is just a reminder, find your center. My love is just a reminder. My love is just a reminder, find your center. Yeah. Well, help me recall that first morning, sunlight at dawn, and cracks on the floor, well, it served as a warning. Everything's changing, I'll rearrange it. So familiar, so amazing. Hopped in the car, drove through the mountains, cows in the street, prayer beads you were counting. There was the river, eternal giver, flowing forever. Remember, find your center. My love is just a reminder, find your center. My love is just a reminder. My love is just a reminder, find your center. My love is just a reminder. the fade. Take a look within, find your offering. Hold it to the sun, let your spirit run. Remember, find your center. My love is just a reminder, find your center. My love